Howdy, I've been tasked to try and help you organize the materials you might want to look at before you write the essential skills preparation exam before you write block exam. So I'm going to turn off this camera so it's not distracting. Let's start by going into the content. Okay, in the content, you're going to find a bunch of stuff, good stuff. Very first thing I want you to notice here in the table of contents is we have instructions here for writing the exam. You may think, oh my God, please, you're going to show me where the instructions? But yes, a lot of students have some issues. Number one, there's a calculator and a formula sheet provided in the exam in the upper right hand corner. That'll be helpful to know when you get there. Some students never even noticed it. If they don't read, you don't necessarily find that information. Very important that if you don't calculate the answer to a question, you want to go back to it later, then you shouldn't hit the submit button. You want to just go to the next question number and come back to it later. If you hit submit, you can't go back. That's really important. Down below here, you're going to find this information. And by the way, you can listen to the instructions by clicking on this link. There's a video. You should have a look at that. And the instructions written format, basically here. Click on that as well. But this is what I want you to see. And students need to hear this. There are different sections of the exam. Reading comprehension and document usage. These two seem to be quite a weakness for many students in the last 5 years or so. I'm not sure if it's a literacy issue, not getting enough practice in high school or whatever, but do not disregard any review that goes over reading and tables and measurements and all that kind of stuff. It's really important. This is definitely the weakest part of the test for a lot of people. Okay, there's 36 questions that are on math, 20 here on this content, and then 24 from science. Then 5 general questions that are problem solving. 85 questions in total. Okay, and that kind of gives you an idea of where they fall, how many. Like, don't stress yourself out learning trigonometry. If you've never done it before, you'll get to that in 1209 math. If you don't know it before the exam, it's not going to kill you 2 questions, for example. So, and like I said, in this section, the top section, you'll also find the test instructions in a written format there. It's taking us to a new page. This is the login. Okay, basically I just copied from there anyway. If you want to see it in a black screen, go ahead. Let's go back to the table of contents. Quite important here that you read this kind of information. Okay, and it gives a little link here on what the federal government basically believes about what essential skills are important. You may find yourself curious about your own skills. If so, you could print this off and kind of go through, just do it on the screen and see, do I have these skills? What do they consider document use? What do they consider numeracy, etc.? And go from there, right? That's a great resource in my opinion as well. Now, here's where you get to the good stuff. The good stuff. The study guide. There are 3 in here. The first one is by far the most important. It is put out by the government. Well, I don't know if it's an apprenticeship for, GNB, the government. So if you scroll on down, it's going to have questions in all these areas. And read, right? Don't skip this part. I'm not going to read it to you. This is a formula sheet. You'll probably be using it in your own math class with your own instructor anyway. I use it in the ones that I teach, a little different format, but it's the same. Now, here go the practice. So reading questions. Okay, and you'll see, I'm just going to scroll through. The reading questions have some math in them sometimes. Picking out the valid facts. And then it gets into the numeracy. I'm going to skip to the end to show you that at the back, it has solutions. And you definitely should spend the bulk of your time. The first thing you should do to prepare this exam is to go through this booklet first from front to back. It is by far the tool. I don't necessarily agree, but it's what apprenticeship thinks you should be doing to get ready. That one. There's also, second one down, a very similar one. It's a bit older, out of Alberta. I used this one for years to prep my math students in St. John with Todd and the crew. And it worked really nicely to get people ready. Okay, so again, there's a formula sheet. That's one I use. There's practice. And again, at the back, you'll find answers. Not quite that far back, but you get the idea. Answers and diagrams. It's go through this one as well. Another good preparatory piece of materials, I guess. This one I found, it's quite old, but if you feel like math is your weakness, math is generally not a weakness of this exam. But if you feel that it is for yourself, then there's another one here. You may want to go through this. And at the back, I'm not mistaken, I put an answer key that I made up. Okay, not perfecto. Actually, that probably should be changed. I made a new answer key. I was kind of being smart one time, just making people tell me. If I can have a better one, I'll look and see and check. I'll update this. But also, table of contents. A lot of folks, after they go through the study guide, discover they have some weaknesses in science. Quite common in the science area. So I found some resources in science. Now, I've put 2 documents here midway down that I made, just some study notes. I'll just click on to show you. Some basic notes on physics, stuff that I think could be helpful. You might want to check that out. Sometimes that's not enough for people. Okay, there's some practice questions down here that came from an old resource, and there's practice questions there. The back has some answers. I would definitely do those as well. And then, what students like a lot, I just came across this year, there's modules from apprenticeship in Northwest Territories. And these PDFs are really good. They have good explanations and they have good examples. So they're long, but you don't have to go through everything. You can just kind of have a gander, have a look. All I had last year for resource was this topic number 1, but I've since found 2 more. So now there's 3 booklets. Pick and choose. I have the content here. You can see what you think. Definitely pay attention to work, energy, and machines. Energy and work. You're already doing quite a bit with electricity. Matter. They like to talk a lot about fluids and liquids and gases. They like temperature, like basic machines. Number 1's your best bet. There's other good stuff in those as well. That's the science portion. There's also extra questions in here on numeracy. If math is your trouble area, I found all these documents from Northwest Territories. I don't necessarily think you should go there first. I would just suggest you do these ones first. These ones came from apprenticeship. Somebody who used to tutor in apprenticeship gave me these resources. Okay, your 1208 and 1209 math, and now it's called Math 1269 and 1270 or whatever it is in your electrical program, will be enough preparation if you're a 80% or above student. If you're dangling in the 60s, you might need extra help, extra practice down here. I would check out these ones for reading. There's a nice little booklet here about reading. There's random practice questions here. And it says here you can do these questions on PEI construction. It has a nice little booklet. There's like 50 pages of reading on document use that you might like. And I would like for you to try to access those because they're pretty good. If you have, some issues with picking up the main fact, or if your reading is a little less than fantastic because perhaps your second language, good resources. So basically, we're throwing stuff at you. We're inviting you to have a look. Start with the study guides and the answer keys, go through them, and then supplement as necessary. And then reach out to your local helpers at your campus, and if you need, you can go through these, and eventually sometimes questions get back to me. And I wish you good luck. And remember, it's just a test, and the questions are not ridiculous, but you do need to do some refreshing on a wide variety of areas.